Hi, it's Micky Dolenz here. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
We'll have him be on the show?
Yeah, that way we can do a podcast with him, because he's been part of that more than I have. So that way, that would get you more.
And what does he do? What's his?
He runs the live video for Wisdome LA. Have you heard of Wisdome LA?
No.
It's only been around for about a year or so at this point. It is a theme park in downtown LA.
Wisdome.
They're on
like
the web.
DOME?
Yes.
Oh wow. That's
so it's
cool.
a series of 5 dome-like structures, 5 dome tents. The largest one being, I think, about 100 meters or 100 feet across. So this is a gigantic series of domes. They have an immersive art gallery in there.
Whoa.
I'll show you some clips from it that I took there.
Has this been around a while?
Only about a year or so, just a little bit over a year.
This sounds fascinating.
They have a virtual reality section.
Ooh.
They have artwork that's lenticular, kind of like that holographic lenticular artwork. They have projections that project onto a very specific shape, and as you look at it, you notice that the image keeps more, the face that it's the formed face that it's projecting onto keeps morphing, and you notice, it's a projection, it's not a static device. They have also pieces of artwork where you download an app and you put it in front of the artwork and you see the images on the artwork moving.
I love it.
So it becomes animated on your phone.
I love it. That is so cool. What a great idea.
And so I help out a friend. I do not work for the venue themselves. I work, to help out my friend do his thing, and he has a series of 6 cameras now, all pointed at the stage performers in the largest dome there at Wisdome. And he and about a team of about 10 people kind of run this whole thing. And so they will take different camera angles and pick and choose what the best thing is, what the best imagery would be, and they mix that with their own computer generated imagery and project that. So you can imagine, like, you've been to an IMAX theater performance. Right. So imagine the entire top of the dome is a video screen.
Incredible.
So you're immersed.
Incredible.
Within the screen, like everywhere you look up, the entirety of the ceiling, and it's a dome-shaped ceiling. So the entirety of it is a projection screen.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that sounds like such a fun place to work.
Yeah, it's its own little theme park. I mean, it's not anywhere near the size of the large ones out here, but it is a theme park.
That's amazing. And where is it?
It's in downtown LA. It's an artist district. I gotta take you up there sometime. Check out the artwork.
Like, how much space would it take up? Like this lot right here, would you say, or smaller? I'm trying to get a visual here in my brain.
It wouldn't be as long as this lot here. But it might be a little bit shorter in, but maybe, so let's say from here to probably about like between like those 2 banners.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
that's cool.
Or maybe even to the second banner, roughly.
And it's how many domes?
5 domes.
Oh my gosh. So each one is kind of its own little world.
Oh yes.
Oh my god. Wow. How do they get performers out there?
They've had some performers. They've been I forget his last name, Randy from he's the person that performs as Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, okay.
And he's I forget his last name, but it's Randy something or other.
So he's played there. He's Jimi Hendrix guy?
Yeah, the guy that performs as Jimi Hendrix.
Awesome.
He's played there. They've had Bootsy Collins.
Wow.
Bootsy Collins, which was probably the largest show they had. Like, that place was completely packed the entire night.
Oh my gosh.
That was probably like one of the cooler shows happening there. They've had members of the Grateful Dead performing Infrared Roses, their early 90s album.
Wow.
In its entirety. So you get, and that show was one of the better ones too. And the one they just had this past weekend was some producer DJs that do these shows out in the desert during the full moons.
Cool.
Yeah, and the way you get to these is that you get the coordinates, right? There's no address because it's way out in the desert. There's no.
So you get the longitude and latitude, and you just gotta
and you can just drive out in the desert. And you're driving for a while, and until you start coming up upon the lights.
That's incredible. What a cool way to do it.
Desert dwellers.
How long?
Those
how often does
guys,
that happen?
And they do that every full moon.
Every full moon, the desert dwellers are out there. That's incredible. The Desert Dwellers. That sounds like a cool name for a movie. Desert Dwellers. I mean, heck, there could be an entire documentary about that. Or even a movie that takes place in one of those places.
Kars Kova was the other performer. He does like this world electronic music.
Oh.
And he has segments where he plays the tablas.
Oh, that's cool. So how do you think you go about playing there? How would you go about playing there? I mean, you know the projectionist guy, right?
You'd have to rent it out.
You have to rent it. You can't, like, they don't pay for you to play there or anything?
Who knows? I mean, it really depends on the performances they want to get. But but they are open for bookings. They have it on their website.
That's cool. That sounds like a cool place to work.
Yeah.
And that's going on all the time. The Wisdome.
Every weekend. I think they do have the art gallery open throughout the week.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can still run through the park and go through all the exhibits.
That's great. Wow. This sounds like a revolutionary place.
That's pretty neat, man. You'll love it.
It's interesting because just the other day I was thinking to myself about, we don't really see just alternative theme parks out there, really, and so for something like this to exist is really
just
cool.
Just the other day, huh?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 days ago, I was just podcasting this, going, you know what, we really haven't seen any. Oh, and I had this idea of how funny it would be is if, like, the towns where they knock down buildings or they knock down houses or whatever. Just right there in that plot of land, you build a roller coaster, or some like crazy outlandish just ride right there. You just charge admission. There's the roller coaster right there in the plot where a house used to be, and it's just random, roller coasters throughout the town. And that got me thinking about theme parks and how, I haven't seen any, sort of alternative theme parks. We are exiting the train. I don't know how this lady's going to get downstairs with this thing. She's got a big old bag full of some clothes here. Yes. So they have musicians there. Do they have like other kinds of performers and stuff too, like puppeteers or? I
think they
clowns.
do. I think they might.
Perhaps Sunday Meat Clown Industries will be invited to put on some shenanigans over there.
Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen those guys in a while.
I know. I'm working. I'm putting a little Meat Clown bit into a new.
What you got?
Experimental film that I'm making.
Oh, okay.
So it just pops up for a quick split second, and because they are, after all, one of the many sponsors of Inspirado Projecto podcast, so I like to try to make sure that.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're sponsored.
Yeah, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance, look on YouTube under Meat Clown, MEAT. They prefer that you spell them all with capital letters, MEAT, clown. You'll see some interesting stuff on there. Brian DeVille and I have seen them at various artistic locations, and they're quite something else. They are something else. You gotta check them out. This concludes our roving interview. This idea just popped in my brain. A group of, maybe they're philosophers. They're called the Questionnaires. I love it. They are called the Questionnaires. And they ask the most dynamic questions. And people are actually kind of afraid of them because they ask questions that people should be asking themselves that they are afraid to hear the answers for. The difficult questions. Questions that people just are not looking at the reason why something sprouted up to what it is. A lot of times we just hear, oh, that is, that's just how it is. That is what it is. Well, something made it that way. It is what it is, yes. And it is what it is because of, what is the is? The is the process that led up to that point. Like in Magnolia, for instance, there's a root behind all this stuff. There's just always a root behind this stuff. Like in the movie Magnolia, Tom Cruise plays a character who's, I don't know, would you call him a womanizer? I don't know if that's the right word, a womanizer. He teaches guys how to get dates and how to read women and all that jazz. And you end up finding out in the movie. And he claims that, what does he say? His character comes up with a completely different past, just a completely different, history. And you come to find out that basically what made him was that growing up, his dad left the family and he had to take care of his dying mother. And he had to take care of his dying mother. And so he always had this father issue. And it's just a way, in a sense, a coping mechanism that he developed through the years to try to, sort of wrap his brain around what happened. Without realizing it. It kind of turned into a coping mechanism. So this stuff is just out there all over the place. We could say a person is bad, they're a bad guy because they did this, they did that. And unfavorable actions we can definitely look at and label and go, okay, that's an unfavorable action. That's harming someone's life, or that's just, that's just rude behavior. But you see that there is definitely a thing that leads up to that. And when you get into the root of that, when you force yourself and other people are forced to look at that thing, it's looking in the mirror. No matter how much plastic surgery you get, no matter, as they like to say, augmentations that you get, you could suddenly wake up one day and identify as a lizard. You go into the tattoo shop and you have them tattoo scales all over you, and then you get special teeth inserted in your mouth, and then you get, whatever. Maybe you take pills or something that makes your skin look more like a lizard. And so you suddenly wake up, you're like, okay, I'm good. This is what I am now. But that came about because of something. What was that thing that led to that point? So you go down in there and you look down into the history, and a lot of times you find out that there's just bad news bears going on. There's just abuse. There's just maybe they grew up in an opium den. Any number of things that sort of was the seed that grew this particular tree. So no matter what, that person still has to go around being with themselves, no matter how they look, no matter what they're choosing to identify with. It's something that they're going to be carrying around with them. So the same thing for, let's say business owners. You say, so many years, I think I was talking about this before, that idea of, oh, it's just business. We always hear that phrase, oh, it's just business. Oh, okay, well, how has that rude behavior, how has that, stepping on over people's backs and raising prices and keeping wages low for your workers, why? Yeah, it's just business, but what are the benefits for that? What are the mutual benefits of that for everybody? Oh, well, no, not everybody benefits from it. Just I benefit from it. No hard feelings, just business. It's just how we do things. Yeah, but why? Why did it turn out to be that way? It can't just be, why? Why the decision to be unethical or immoral or, why choose that? And then you go down in there and you've realized, well, maybe this person, this business owner, they themselves were brought up in a very stunted or oppressed sort of society. So now this is their way of overcompensating for that. Maybe they grew up in a third world country with a dirt floor. So now they come over here and they see that there's a better life, and next thing you know, they get a business. And they got that silent vow in the back of their brains. Oh, I'll never let that happen again. I'll never let that happen again. So as a result of that, there's that mindset of being on the defense and actually doing that to others. It's like striking first. Well, I'm not going to let you get a chance to knock me down off pegs. I'm going to get you first. And then that's how you turn into the villain. That's how that happens. Once we, society, businesses, start moving more into a partnership type of mentality, we're going to see a lot happier people. Let's see what this guy's name is. Let's see. There's a guy. Can't find him. He's a motivational speaker. And he said that his business is based on partnership. If a secretary finds a way to save money on staples, or if people get rewarded within the company, because the money that's saved on those staples is that money it's like with the partnership type of thing, everybody wins big with it. Everybody wins big with it. It's a beautiful thing. So anyway, yeah, the questionnaires, those would be the people who will go around and ask all of the very, questions, let's say, of business owners, of protesters, of what have you. A lot of uninformed folks who are taking bits of information that they know about and expanding it big, acting like they know what they're talking about. But when you really get deep in there, you just find out they were just following a crowd. That's all it was. Just following a crowd. Questionnaires, folks. The questionnaires. So I had this idea for, the idea of having a kid. When a couple is sitting there and they're going, honey, should we have a kid? Yeah, let's have a kid. And they have no choice but to see what they see from the perspective that they're at, because they don't know what it's like to wake up every, however often to get the kids, or change the diaper, or all that stuff that encompasses it. So I almost feel like imagine a culture where it is mandatory for you, like maybe it's a license you get or something. It's mandatory for you to take this, I don't know if you'd call it a class, I guess a class, maybe it would be a class, yeah, where you carry around, and I think they do this at some high schools, you carry around a bag of flour for an extended period of time, do all this stuff. I know they do this on a certain extent with high schools. So now imagine there's this device that mocks maybe it's sort of like part digital, like Tamagotchi type thing, and part reality type thing. So it's almost like maybe it's like an app that's in the Alexa, and or maybe it's its own thing where it cries on a schedule. It cries. You have to do certain things like a dad would have to do. Well, okay, here we go. Whoa. Okay. Okay, we're making a smoothie here. This is gonna be interesting. I threw some almonds in there, so we'll see what this sounds like once it goes through. There's some. Whoa, there we go. We have hit pay dirt, ladies and gentlemen. We have officially hit pay dirt. We are digging deeply into the core of Mars, and it appears we have hit pay dirt. There are billions and billions of gold here. We have hit pay dirt. We have found Martian gold. Wow. That's what you call a magic bullet. I think so. I think it's a magic bullet. I'd like to call it a magic 8-ball. However, that's something different. Look at that. So you have to go through this. Could be a class, but I'm thinking more of like I was just imagining first just sort of a device. And it's it is just nagging you all the time. All the time. Oh, shit. That was really, really scary. Oh my God. That made my heart to just completely leap right there. Oh my God, that was terrifying. That was terrifying. And Mr. Carter, that was completely terrifying. Whoa. Wow. So I had about 6 almonds, roasted, some water. I threw in about 5 tablespoons of yogurt, maybe more. And one of these cups equals, there's like a cup in this thing. It's Super Mass Gainer, it's called. High protein and carb. Trying to put on weight for this movie, House in the Middle of Nowhere. Oh my gosh, these are good shakes. It's interesting because it is like thick. It's like eating a meal or drinking a meal. A meal. That sounds like some Czechoslovakian. Drinking a meal. Hello, I'm Emil. I'm drinking a meal. I'm the only one here who lives here, and I am always drinking. So they call me drinking a meal.
Hello, I'm Emil. I'm drinking Emil.
Well, Emil, would you like to grab a... Well, Emil, would you like to grab a drink?
Oh yes, of course I would, but first I have to take a good slug. Here, good, very good long slug from my...
What is that, a hip?
flask? Yes, from my hip flask, of course. I'm trying to get this cap over here.
So yeah, this family, they get families, they got to go through this whole system of crying at night, of pampering a kid. You know, maybe there are sensors around in these car seats. Training them to take along the proper materials for short things. I mean, really prepare these guys. And have them live like that, I would say, for 3 months. 3 months. and give them 3 months of living like that. That's just a starting point. This is just a blueprint. And you give them this opportunity to test their wits. And then maybe there's like a clock or some kind of chart. There's something that talks to them. Either it could be through the computer, could be through Alexa, could be through the TV. I mean, this could be an all-encompassing experience. Part of it's virtual reality, maybe. Maybe there's a training course on how to talk to kids. Like, imagine if we could just bypass the whole thing of talking cute to kids. I do too. I do it to animals. You get a little tiny voice for a tiny creature, and it makes sense. But yeah, imagine you got this, this thing you're carrying around with you, whether it's a bag of flour, that's the baby. Then maybe you carry around a actual looking baby, the same weight. It's a Tamagotchi. You got to pretend like you're feeding this thing, but it's maybe it's an RFID chip. It's plugged into an app you got on your phone. What if it's got a speaker in it? That's good. There it is. It's a baby. It's got a speaker in it. And you've got to pamper this thing. You've got to take care of this thing. And so you see how you can, and this thing, you'll take it on a plane. You have to take it on the plane. It's mandatory. So on the plane, this thing starts crying. Uh-oh. What are you going to do? Just you and the baby. Wife got up to go to the bathroom. Baby starts crying. Big trouble. How do you stop it? Ooh, maybe that's the thing too. It gets you. Ooh, I see. Yeah. So, like the glares, I can imagine some people probably get glare. Other folks just glaring at them like, how dare you have your newborn adolescent crying. Everybody clenches up inside. That's an interesting thing. What is the root of that, by the way? When we clench up inside, when we hear kind of a loud noise, we hear something that's like, ah! Is it the idea that we're going to cause an alarm? Is it the idea that we're going to cause it's going to the idea that it's like, okay, so it's loud. So it's loud. And many of us who cringe at the sound of a baby crying are perfectly fine with blasting the music in our cars really loud. Right? We love it. We want everybody to hear our music. In fact, some of us sit on the subway and we have our Bluetooth speaker. And before you know it, you're sitting on a subway and someone is blasting their boombox right there next to you. Blammo! I can't remember if I was podcasting with you guys or not, but there's a time where this guy was on there and he was just blasting this loud. It was like, let's do it. Let's hear it for the boy. Let's hear it for my man. It was like one of those kinds of things. Like Jack Black in High Fidelity with Walking on Sunshine. Imagine that sequence. Well, this guy was really jamming into it, you know. It'd be like the equivalent of hearing like girls just want to have fun and some dude is just, you know, jamming away and he's got a do-rag on his head and he's got cut off sleeves and just like, you know, like a dude out of the Warriors movie. Jeans and just like
Don't go in there, okay? Don't go in there. No, don't go in there.
So there you go. Little creatures, little voices. Oh, listen, see? What'd you say? What'd you say? Little voices. Would it be strange if we heard a different voice come out of a cat? Would it be strange? If they like, you know, if they meowed like that. Rawr. Rawr. Cats, cats, there are cats around. Hey, everybody, there are cats around. Listen to them purring, purring at night. No need to be scared, no need to have fright. These are cats just purring in the night. Yeah, 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 they're purring in the night. Purring in the night. Purring in the night. I hear some kittens purring in the night. They're in need of mittens, they're purring in the night. All right, it's out of sight. And then what's his name from Good Times? Dynamite! He pops his head in. At the end. Just at the end. After the credits, possibly. It's like the exclamation point. Anyway, thank you for listening. Yeah, if you agree that, or disagree, or, I don't know, just think about it. Let it marinate. Are there certain things, you being a parent, that you wish someone would have told you when you're going into it? Maybe you thought, well, you know, it would have come in handy if I knew ahead of time this kind of thing would happen. So imagine you wean yourself into the real, actual aspect of it. You have already, in a sense, prepared yourself to some extent for that stage. The communications that are necessary. Necessary communications. Hello there. Hello there. I am the Admiral. Hello there. I am the Admiral of Necessary Communications. Hello there. I am the Admiral of the Necessary Communications. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. I'm now, dear Diane, I'm now looking at a book of stamps. Sesame Street. Whoa, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. They go all the way up the scale with the colors of these Muppets, amazing, man. They do it, man. So we got Ernie, Bert, Cookie Monster, Rosita, the Count, Oscar the Grouch, Abby, Kadabby. Who else is this? Henry Monster, big blue guy. Julia, red-haired gal. Some of these I don't remember. Guy Smiley, there he is. Snuffleupagus, yeah. Elmo. He was on the cusp. Telly. Can't remember. Grover, yeah. Zoe. So it's really, really quite interesting to see that these are on books of stamps. How cool is that? For something to come from someone's imagination. It started as something they wrote down, they talked about, they dreamed about, maybe while they were in math class. There's young Jim Henson in math class, and he's just scribbling away all these ideas for these creatures. Oh, man alive. And then he creates the Muppets. How astounding is that? Now there's stamps. The family must be ecstatic. What other things can we... gosh, I could think of a whole bunch of different crazy... You could get Jim Henson mugs. Jim Henson bobbleheads. Don't get me started. What about a Jim Henson action figure? And, let's see. Oh, I imagine, what if there's a mask of each of the characters that you could put onto his head? So, well, there's one that's Ernie. Next one, Bert. Hey, Bert. Kooky Monster. Hello, Kooky Monster. So imagine those. The Count, Grover. Snuffleupagus the Grouch. Guy Smiley. How cool is that? Nothing really ever truly ends, huh? It just morphs into another interesting incarnation of it. Now that we're seeing more and more of these TV shows, movies, media out there becoming less apologetic for flashbacks, in other words, not really spelling them out for you. You're just, there it is. It's a flashback. We're not telling you it's a flashback. But you're looking at this. Alexa, next song. But you're looking at this thing and you're going, interesting. That person's hair is shorter here, and yet that scene comes after this. I'm assuming it's the next day. But no, it's not the next day. It's a flashback. But nobody told you it was a flashback. But they relied on you and your brains to just be okay with not... They trusted you enough to be okay with not holding your hand and how to feel about something. They trusted you with that. How cool is that? What a nice thing. They're not walking you through it. They're not going, oh, you pitiful, poor little, ooh, let's walk you through everything. They're letting you, sure, they're telling you some stuff, but then they're letting you kind of put it together and feel, sort of queasy for a little bit. And then, whoop, guess what? Here it is. So... Just astounding when you think of the dominoes, huh? It's 11:24 a.m. on my way up to, March 4th. On my way up to the train station, I'm going to substitute teach for my buddy Darren, my buddy from Columbia College, fellow improv actor. He runs this after-school program at some of these schools out here called Darren to Improv. And he teaches the kids all about ensemble, the importance of yes and, all that stuff. Ensemble work is the biggest... You've heard me talk about it over and over. It's the biggest importance that's going to bond everything. It's going to bring everybody together. And anybody who learns the art of ensemble work in a group will notice quite a difference in their collaborating style and quite a difference in the quality and amount of astounding ideas. It's an imagination opener. It is just a very, very healthy skill. So we teach these kids this, and every once in a while I sub for him when he's not able to make it. Usually when he's off on a commercial or show or something, which I think is one of the coolest things, knowing that these kids have a teacher who's actually out there in the world doing this stuff. That's a big deal right there. There's a difference between that kind of teaching and the kind of teaching where there's a professor standing at a little podium, about 100 feet away from the students, and he's down there at his little podium saying things out of a book. What's cool about this is that the students actually get a chance to see their teacher on television and in the movies. It's cool because then it makes that connection in their brain that, yeah, the stuff that you're learning in class right now is applicable. And your teacher is actually utilizing these techniques. I think it's pretty cool. In fact, I think it's really cool. We'll talk more later. Thanks for hanging out. So when did your daughter record these songs?
It was dropped on the end of July of last year.
How long has she been writing songs for?
Well, she doesn't write.
Oh.
Well, yeah, she wrote that song, but she doesn't do a lot of songwriting.
Oh.
She just did that particular song.
Oh, so that's something new for her.
Right.
Oh, that's
right,
great. And then she already put it out on iTunes?
Mm-hmm.
That is fantastic. Isn't that crazy in this day and age? I just love it, the fact that these kinds of things are available and these opportunities are there for the artists because they weren't there back in the days.
And she also put it on Spotify.
Oh, that's great.
And what's really nice is that, I guess it's the internet connection. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not. But anyway, because it's on my phone.
What's the name of her? What's her name?
1,000 Times. It's
1,000 Times.
1000X by Maya Smith.
Maya Smith. M-A-Y-A?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful name.
She was on season 10 of The Voice.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
She made it through to the knockout.
No way.
That's when she lost on the knockout.
Wow. That is exciting to hear.
She's an inspiring artist, So.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is great. So I'm sure, because, the people who follow what's going on some of those shows, they are rabid fans. They follow the careers of those people even after they leave the station. So this could be something that's really cool for her to be able to go, oh yeah, featured on The Voice, and here's the new song. I mean, that is so cool. Is she thinking of making a music video?
I don't know. She probably will eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But what she did do when she got ready to promote, right before it dropped, she had a photographer friend who came over and did this photo because it's about somebody. Well, I wish you could hear it and you would understand what I'm saying. But she did the picture. My son was in it, and her two sisters were in it also. And they did a photo, and I guess that would be the album cover if she did a CD. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's great.
That song.
That is fantastic. How cool is that? Because of your inspiration and your encouragement, that's what happened for your daughter.
Yeah.
Wow, that is just so cool.
She grew up with music. She and my son both, because I was I was a teenager in the late 60s and early 70s, so all of that music that I played, that I, grew up on and was a teenager on and all of it, they heard it as they were growing up. So they have a very good ear for, they like that kind of music. And she likes a lot of different types of music, really.
Are you a musician too?
No, I wish I was. And I wish I had encouraged her when she was
left
younger
at this little street here.
to
It kind of
take,
sneaks up.
music lessons, but she didn't, and so now she's regretting it. So she's already said once she started having her own family, she's going to have them to learn how to play one or two instruments, because you never know what you may want to do later on in life, and just having that, just like having a second language, you know what I mean?
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And sometimes it's the kid, you hear those stories where people are like, oh, I hated it there. I was forced to do pianos. I always keep me away from pianos. But then there are those people who did not grow up with that, and then they start investigating it later, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I wish I would have known this earlier. So it's crazy how that works out, and I just love the fact that muse just kind of went, kind of brought her to being a part of this.
Yeah, well, she loves music. She always has. Well, good luck to you guys on your...
Hey, thank you so much.
Get to where you're going.
Oh, thank you so much.
All righty.
Yeah, and...
you guys have a nice trip up there, too.
Thank you. Maybe someday we'll see you at a show.
All righty.
You got to wear your dancing shoes, though.
Thank you. You know what I like to dance.
Good. I thought so. You had that vibe. All right, take care. Bye. It's great. What a great Uber driver. So that's cool. Her daughter was on The Voice. You never know who you're going to meet. You never, ever, never know. It is 12:48 a.m. The time is now... It's, what do you call it? The date is the 6th. March 6th. Already it's March. We're here with Pauly Shöres. We just endured a, how long was the trip?
9 hours? 9-hour trip?
Oh my God. Out here to Arizona, Tempe. We're in Tempe now. We're going to be on the TV tomorrow. What is it for?
Good morning, Arizona. AMAZ.
AMAZ in the morning. Like what, 7 a.m.?
Call time 6:30.
Call time 6:30. So we might be on TV by, maybe, who knows? We have to be at the studio by 7, so we don't know how long it's going to take to set up and all that razzmatazz. However, we're going to be on the TV, and then that night we're going to be playing at the Marquee Theater, which is crazy because I saw Micky Dolenz play on that same stage.
No way.
And we're going to be playing on that same stage. And my friend Dory, when I was there with her, she goes, you know what? I think you guys should try to play here at the Marquee. I can totally imagine it. So here it is.
Is Dory going to be making an appearance?
I don't think so. However, we're going to be playing at the Marquee Theater, Tempe, Arizona. The day after that, where are we going? Yuma,
Arizona for the was it?
Is that the midnight at the Oasis?
Yes, midnight at the Oasis.
At the Oasis. So that's quite exciting. And then what? And then we're staying over, I assume, and then we're coming back the next morning.
Sunday. Yeah, we go
Sunday.
back. The land yacht cruises back to sunny Simi Valley, California.
How has your school, throughout the course of this, throughout the evolution of this process, how has your school come to assimilate to your work behavior here with Yachtley Crew?
Well, February 10th, 2017 was almost 3 years ago.
Wow.
That was my first gig with Yachtley Crew.
Oh my God.
February 10th, 2017.
Wow.
In August of 2017, I signed a contract with Grace Brethren School in Simi Valley. Little did I know that I would grow to love both jobs wholeheartedly. All I wanted to do was rock out on the saxophone. I knew I loved teaching, but then this job landed in my lap. I was like, why not? I got kids, I'll give it a shot. 3 years later, it's like the best thing that ever happened to my family.
With your job with the at the school?
At the school, and the fact that Yachtley Crew is flourishing, and everything seems to be going hand in hand.
How is everyone treating...
The administration's supportive, the parents are supportive. I think it's cool that their band teacher is in like a highly sought after, highly relevant, like new trendsetter band. The parents are into it, the administration's into it, brings good publicity to the school, you know. And they so far they've been very incredible with understanding my crazy schedule as of late.
Seems like they show you a lot of support at these, you know, particularly the all ages shows.
Oh yeah, I mean they bring the family out, all the families come, the wife comes, the kid comes. It's
How do they treat your son at school? I think that's such an interesting story.
Oh yeah, that's right. My son's in kindergarten, and my wife volunteers in the classroom once a week, and one Wednesday, I guess maybe it was just a casual side comment, but she said, "Oh, you know, the parents are talking that Macio's dad is in Yachtley Crew." So yeah, it's out there. It's out there. People are... I don't think my son's getting preferential treatment, but of course the dad would like to think he is, right? I mean,
So the parents are thinking, "Oh my God, my son or daughter is going to school with the son of the guy who's in Yachtley Crew."
Yeah.
Like for them to... It's a really interesting... You know, that your spirit is like... It's like hovering around Maceo. The yacht rock spirit is hovering around him, and
I know he knows it too.
It's so.
He gets it.
Oh my gosh!
He's a smart kid.
Oh my gosh!
Very, very, very smart.
He is.
Kid.
He is.
But no, we had his teacher over to our house for dinner too, and she was very into the band. She might come out to a show.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, but she hears all of the other parents talk.
It's interesting. It's like sometimes it takes 3 times before someone finally breaks and goes, "Okay, let me test that out." Sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's 5. Sometimes it's 10 or 20. Who knows?
I'm gonna talk to my robot for a second. Siri, set 5-minute timer.
But what's interesting is that
your timer is set for 5 minutes.
oh, that's good.
That's what the robot says.
I like it.
So
We have AI working on our behalf here today, ladies and gentlemen, on this journey with our land yacht, our brand new.
It's pretty comfortable. I mean,
It is like the 18 van.
Yeah, it's very. What's the word?
We survived 9 hours.
Yeah,
in there.
I mean we get along, so of course. I mean, it's the dynamic. You know, the band is just like it's its own entity right now.
Yeah.
Like everybody understands their roles. Everybody's like, okay, we're in this for the. This isn't going to be a vacation.
The dynamics are dynamic.
From the beginning to the end. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and hard labor.
There's a lot of hard labor. That's why we're so happy to have our techs. I like the idea of calling these dudes techs instead of roadies.
Yeah,
you know,
Arturo,
tech. It's like, we got like
Arturo,
scientists
Dusty,
on the team.
Chris. Oh man, we got the best crew. Robin. Shout out to Willie. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to who am I missing? Everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Eric, Willie,
Love,
Robin. You know, folks, check out. So Robin is in Twin Temple. You could go check out Twin Temple. They call it Satanic Doo-Wop. And then Dusty is in Night Demon. Night Demon has been playing all over Europe. And then Robin and Willie are in Mandex, which is a cover band, and they do all like Van Halen and all the, you know, spandex wearing bands like what am I thinking of? Who are some of those dudes? They probably do Twisted Sister, I'm thinking. They got to do Motley Crue. But these are some of the dudes who are working along with us. Our tour we picked up at Viper Room. Chris has been on tour with Fishbone, Steel Pulse, all kinds of other folks. And it's so crazy because I ended up finding out that Chris, I think, was with Fishbone around the time when I had very first ever seen Fishbone in Chicago. Not Chicago, at Milwaukee Fest. And he was doing sound for those guys. God, there's just so much magic that just follows this band around over and over again. I mean, there are people who are going to come out and see our Queen Mary show, and then come out the day after that to see the show after that. The day right after that. Yeah. Oh my God, the whiskey. Yeah.
Sold out. Dude.
Queen Mary show and then the freaking whiskey.
The whiskey sold out.
God, man. And then I found out that these ladies that I've been talking to from Final Draft, thank God I decided to approach them in 2016. Final Draft for Kapow. I come to find out, I tell this one, I tell the ladies, I go, oh yeah, if you can't make it out to the Kapow, maybe I could, get you on a list for Yachtley Crew. I'm in this yacht rock band. The one lady goes, oh my gosh, you're in Yachtley Crew. My friends and I were supposed to come out and see you guys play a few months ago.
No way.
I wasn't able to go. And I'm thinking, what the hell? You know who we are? This is crazy. Man,
I love those stories.
Oh my God. It just blows me
Yeah.
away. This stuff just keeps happening and happening. It's like, it just never stops. And I never wanted to stop. I wanted to just keep rocking and rolling. And it's just going to keep getting crazier and crazier and crazier, especially since we got the fact that Jim Belushi came out to see us play, the fact that Baba Booey himself came out to see us play, and Baba Booey was up on stage. I mean, it's like, if we had said to Chaz, like, hey Chaz, guess what? You know what? I bet you the original Baba Booey, who you were inspired to make your name by, will come out and see the show. Yeah, right. That'll never ever happen. Yeah, right. I mean, what do you think the odds of that would ever be of happening? Well, it happened. Yeah. It happened. We beat the odds. We've beat the odds, and I'm putting that in the air quotes, tons of times. It's like, it's no
Air
different
quotes.
than winning a lottery. It's no different than winning a lottery. Look at the odds of something like that happening. So Chaz was a huge, Howard Stern fan. He goes, oh, I'm going to name my guy Baba Booey. I love Baba Booey. If I said to Chaz, hey, guess what? Baba Booey's going to come out and see you play, Chaz would say, no way. And I'd say, why would you say no way? Oh, because the odds of that happening are... Well, this is something that I'm curious about. Like, so the amount of resistance that someone has to something great happening in their favor, because a lot of people just right off the bat, they got resistance because they don't want to get their hopes up, so they just start out right away with resistance. A lot of times that ties in with the philosophy of hope for the best, expect the worst. A lot of times it ties in with that. So straight out of the gate, people are expecting things to not work in their favor. They're expecting to not work in their favor. But see, and what's so crazy is that when things do work in their favor, they're not very impressed by it. They're not really excited by it. So would it be interesting if, like, the amount of resistance that a person has to something extraordinary happening in their life was equal to the amount of enthusiasm they had when that rare thing comes to play? Like, if the enthusiasm equaled the resistance, I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine just how ecstatic people would be? There's such potential there for enthusiasm, for being ecstatic, excited. So intriguing when you think about it. Anyway, it's really late. We gotta get up really early in the morning. So thank you so much for hanging out and listening. I'll probably add another little extra thing to this, and that'll be it. So today is March 6th. We are out here in... Huh?
What year was his birthday?
Oh, I'm not certain. I just discovered that Micky Dolenz' birthday is today. And in Yachtley Crew, John Garside told me about that, the guy who did Max Neptune. And also Forgotten Tales. You can hear him on some of the podcasts He told me today's Micky Dolenz's birthday, and what's completely significant about this is the fact that I saw Micky Dolenz perform at the Marquee Theater, and when I saw him perform, and I thought, okay, someday Yachtley Crew is going to play on that stage. And sure enough, here we are. Tonight, we're going to be playing on the same stage that I saw Micky Dolenz, and on top of that, today just so happens to be his birthday. Today's actually Micky Dolenz's birthday, so that's just blowing my mind, the fact that we're playing at the Marquee tonight. Just crazy. We just got done playing for Fox. For Fox channel? Not sure. It was a morning show. We played on there. We played a couple of songs. We played Lowdown. Do you guys remember the name or the news station number? It was Fox, but what was it? 10?
Fox 10.
10. Fox 10.
Phoenix.
Fox 10 Phoenix. And out here they should spell Fox PHOX, but that's just my humble opinion.
Because of,
I mean, but what do I know? What do I know?
Are you saying that because they pronounce PHOENX?
Yeah.
Pho?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Fox. So yeah, we're now about to find a place to sit, and I'm just blown away. I'm just absolutely blown away that this whole thing is coming together in the way that it is. It's just astounding. Thank you. You're welcome. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. Oh, we got both of these booths. It's absolutely astounding. Thank you to all of the contributions on this channel. And if you want to be featured on this podcast, you can email inspiradoprojecto@gmail.com. Email me your audio. Or if you want to call the hotline, it'll go straight to the voicemail. It'll go straight to the voicemail. Call 561-203-9179, and I will include it on this show. All right? I will include it on this show. Thank you for listening.
Hi, it's Micky Dolenz here. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.